My phone trembled in my hands as I stared at the ultrasound photo, a tiny white bean-shaped figure glowing against the dark screen. My baby. My secret. I was supposed to send this to my best friend, but tears blurred my vision. My fingers slipped and I sent it to the wrong contact. To Ollie Graves. The alpha who cornered me at a charity gala 4 months ago, whose scent was pure cedarwood and whiskey, whose intense gray eyes looked at me like I was something he owned. We spent one night together, one stupid, reckless night, when my heat suppressants failed and he offered to help. He promised no strings attached. I blocked him the next morning. And now, I just sent him an ultrasound. Oh my God. Oh my God. No, I frantically pressed delete. But WhatsApp mocked me with 2 words, message delivered. My heart sank into my stomach. I stood frozen in my tiny apartment kitchen, the cold linoleum beneath my bare feet, the silence suffocating. Everything was normal except me. 3 dots appeared on the screen. He was typing, Ollie. Is this mine? 3 words. Simple, direct, devastating. I threw the phone like it burned me. But even from across the room, I could see those words glowing on the screen, haunting me. I never planned to tell him. Never. Because Ollie Graves wasn't just any alpha, he was powerful, controlling, and worst of all, he'd already claimed me once, even if it was temporary. My phone buzzed. Then again, and again. Ollie, answer me, Joseph. Ollie, I'm tracking your location. Don't move. Panic exploded in my chest like a bomb going off. No, no, no. I grabbed my bag and ran for the door, but I only made it to the stairs before a sleek black car pulled up at the building's entrance. And he stepped out. Ollie Graves in the flesh. Tall, broad-shouldered, wrapped in a designer suit like he'd just come from a corporate battlefield. His jaw was tight, his eyes locked on me like a predator tracking prey. Even through the glass door, his scent hit me, that overwhelming combination of cedarwood and whiskey that made my knees weak. I could run back inside, lock the door, barricade myself, but my legs refused to move. He pushed through the door without knocking. Just walked straight in like he owned the place. Like he owned me. Joseph. His voice was low and rough, carrying a command that sent shivers down my spine. We need to talk. I don't have anything to say to you. That's my child. He cut me off, his gray eyes dropping to my stomach, which barely showed yet. And you were trying to hide it from me. I wasn't hiding anything. Don't lie to me. He took a step closer and suddenly my tiny apartment felt even smaller. I saw that you blocked me. You cut me off completely. And now you accidentally send me proof that you're carrying my pup? His possessiveness both terrified and confused me. It was an accident, a fortunate accident. A dangerous smile curved his lips. Because now I'm never letting you go, Joseph. And just like that, my carefully controlled life shattered into a million pieces. He moved closer, invading my space until I could feel the heat radiating off his body. My omega instinct screamed at me to submit, to let him take care of everything. But my rational mind fought back. This wasn't right. This wasn't what I wanted. You can't just barge in here and make demands, I said, trying to sound stronger than I felt. We barely know each other. I know enough. His hand reached out, fingers brushing my cheek with surprising gentleness. I know your scent drives me crazy. I know you're alone. I know you're struggling. And I know that baby inside you is mine. One night doesn't give you ownership. It does when that night created a life. His hand moved to my stomach, palms spreading across my flat abdomen. This changes everything. I jerked away from his touch, backing up until I hit the kitchen counter. What do you want from me? I want you to move in with me. He said it so casually, like he was asking about the weather. Today. Now. Pack your things. Are you insane? My voice rose in pitch. I'm not moving in with some alpha I don't even know. Then get to know me. He crossed his arms, making his broad chest even more intimidating. You have 9 months to figure out if I'm worth keeping around. But that baby deserves a father, and I'm not going to be an absent one. I can raise this child alone. In this place? He gestured around my apartment with obvious disdain. Working double shifts as a waiter? Barely making rent? What happens when you go into heat again, Joseph? What happens when you're vulnerable and some random alpha decides you smell too good to resist? His words struck a nerve because he was right. I hadn't thought that far ahead. I'd been so focused on hiding the pregnancy, on figuring out how to survive, that I hadn't considered the danger I might be in. I'll figure it out, I said weakly. You don't have to. Ollie pulled out his phone, typing something quickly. I have a penthouse with security, private medical care, everything you and the baby need. All you have to do is say yes. And what do you get out of this arrangement? I asked suspiciously. He looked up from his phone, those gray eyes boring into mine with an intensity that made my breath catch. I get to be a father. I get to make sure my child grows up safe and protected. And I get you. You don't even know me. I want to. He pocketed his phone and closed the distance between us again. I've thought about you every single day since that night, Joseph. Your scent, your voice, the way you looked at me like I was your entire world. I couldn't forget you even when I tried. My heart hammered against my ribs. This couldn't be real. Alphas like him didn't pine over random omegas they slept with once. They moved on. They forgot. This is crazy, I whispered. Maybe. His hand cupped my face again, thumb tracing my cheekbone. But it's happening. You're carrying my pup, and I'm not walking away from that responsibility. From you. What if I say no? Then I'll hire lawyers. I'll fight for custody. I'll make your life complicated. His expression hardened. Or you can make this easy and let me take care of both of you. Your choice. It wasn't really a choice at all. He was backing me into a corner, using logic and fear to manipulate me into compliance. But looking around my crumbling apartment, thinking about the medical bills I couldn't afford, the instability of my job, the loneliness that had been crushing me for months. Maybe his offer wasn't the worst thing that could happen. Maybe I was tired of fighting alone. 1 month. I heard myself say, I'll stay for 1 month. Trial period. If it doesn't work, I leave and we figure out co-parenting like normal people. Ollie's smile was triumphant. Deal. Now pack your things. We're leaving tonight. As I watched him pull out his phone again, already making arrangements, I wondered if I'd just made the biggest mistake of my life, or if somehow, impossibly, this might actually work out. Ollie grabbed my wrist before I could change my mind. His grip firm but not painful, just possessive enough to make my omega instincts flutter nervously. I'm not running, I said, trying to pull away. You don't need to hold me hostage. I'm not taking chances. His thumb pressed against my pulse point, and I knew he could feel how fast my heart was racing. You're pregnant with my pup. That makes you mine to protect. I belong to myself. I shot back, finally yanking my hand free. Let's get that straight right now. Something flickered in his eyes. Surprise maybe, or respect. Fair enough. But you're still coming with me. I wanted to argue more, to assert my independence, but exhaustion washed over me suddenly. The morning sickness, the stress of hiding my pregnancy, the shock of Ollie showing up, it all crashed down at once. My knees wobbled. Ollie caught me instantly, one arm around my waist, steadying me. When's the last time you ate a real meal? I eat fine. That's not what I asked. He steered me toward the couch, sitting me down with surprising gentleness. Stay here. I'm ordering food. I don't need you to. Joseph. He crouched in front of me, eye level now instead of looming over me. I know you're independent. I know you don't need rescuing. But you're exhausted, probably malnourished, and definitely stressed. Let me help. Just for tonight. The sincerity in his voice caught me off guard. This wasn't the commanding alpha from earlier. This was someone who actually seemed to care. Thai food, I mumbled. I've been craving pad Thai for weeks. His smile was softer this time. Thai food it is. While he ordered, I looked around my apartment with new eyes. Ollie was right. It was falling apart. The water stain on the ceiling had grown bigger. The heater barely worked. The neighborhood wasn't exactly safe. I'd been telling myself I could make it work, but could I really raise a baby here? Food will be here in 30 minutes, Ollie said, sitting beside me on the couch. Not touching, but close enough that I could feel his body heat. Talk to me. How far along are you? 14 weeks. The words came out automatically. I found out about a month ago. I've had 2 appointments at a free clinic. His jaw tightened. Free clinic? Joseph, you need proper prenatal care. It's all I could afford. I snapped. Not everyone has unlimited resources. You do now. He pulled out his phone again, scrolling through contacts. I'm setting you up with the best obstetrician in the city. She's discreet, experienced with omega pregnancies. You'll see her tomorrow. Tomorrow? I blinked. Don't I get a say in this? You can meet her and decide if you like her. Ollie glanced at me. But you're seeing someone qualified. That's non-negotiable. I should have been angry at his high-handed attitude. But honestly, I was relieved. The free clinic was overcrowded and impersonal. Having actual medical care sounded like heaven. Fine, I said, but I'm not agreeing to everything you demand. I wouldn't expect you to. His lips quirked. You're not exactly the submissive type, are you? Disappointed? Intrigued. His gray eyes studied me with unnerving intensity. Most omegas I've met are either intimidated by me or trying to manipulate me into a mating bond. You're neither. Should I be flattered or insulted? Flattered. He leaned back, stretching his long legs out. It's refreshing. You're refreshing. An awkward silence fell between us. I picked at a loose thread on the couch cushion, trying not to think about how surreal this situation was. Yesterday I was alone and scared. Today an alpha was sitting in my living room, ordering me expensive takeout, and planning to upend my entire life. Why? I asked suddenly. Why do you care so much? You could have just offered child support and walked away. Most alphas would. Ollie was quiet for a long moment, his expression unreadable. My father walked away from 3 different omegas and their pups, left them to struggle alone while he built his empire. I grew up watching him collect children like trophies, never caring about any of them. His voice turned harsh. I swore I'd never be like him. If I create a life, I take responsibility for it. Completely. The raw honesty in his words surprised me. This wasn't just about possessiveness or alpha instincts. This was personal, painful even. I'm sorry, I said softly. That sounds horrible. It was. He rolled his shoulders as if shaking off the memory. But it taught me what kind of alpha I wanted to be, what kind of father I want to be, and what kind is that. Present. He looked at me with fierce determination. Involved. Someone my kid can count on, not just for money but for everything. Bedtime stories, school plays, scraped knees, all of it. My throat tightened unexpectedly. I'd been so focused on surviving that I hadn't let myself imagine what kind of parent I wanted to be, or what kind of co-parent Ollie might become. Hearing him talk about bedtime stories made it suddenly real in a way the ultrasound hadn't. That sounds nice, I admitted quietly. The food arrived, interrupting the moment. Ollie paid the delivery guy with a tip that was probably more than my weekly grocery budget, then spread the containers across my tiny coffee table like a feast. The smell hit me, and my stomach growled loudly. Eat, Ollie ordered, handing me a plate. Doctor's orders. Mine, not a real doctor, but still. I rolled my eyes but started eating. The pad thai was incredible, better than anything I'd had in months. I hadn't realized how hungry I actually was until the first bite hit my tongue. Ollie watched me eat with a satisfied expression, like feeding me gave him genuine pleasure. It should have been weird, but somehow it wasn't. It felt almost domestic, comfortable. So, I said between bites, tell me about this penthouse I'm supposedly moving into. Does it have an escape route in case you turn out to be a serial killer? He actually laughed, a real genuine laugh that transformed his stern face into something almost boyish. Multiple escape routes. 3 exits in fact. Plus a panic room, though I doubt you'll need it. And your bedroom is where exactly? Next to yours. His expression turned serious again. Separate rooms, Joseph. I'm not expecting anything physical from you. This arrangement is about the baby, not about recreating that night. Disappointment flickered through me, which was stupid. I should be relieved. I didn't want complications. Good, I said firmly, because that night was a one-time thing. Heat-induced mistake, was it? His eyes darkened with something I couldn't quite read. Because I remember you saying my name like a prayer. I remember you begging me not to stop. Didn't seem like a mistake then. Heat flooded my face. That was the heat talking. Maybe. He leaned forward, close enough that his scent wrapped around me. Or maybe there's more between us than you want to admit. Before I could respond, he pulled back and started cleaning up the empty containers, effectively ending the conversation. I sat there, heart pounding, wondering what the hell I'd just gotten myself into. Ollie's penthouse was a different universe compared to my cramped apartment, and I felt completely out of place the moment I stepped inside. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the glittering city skyline. Marble floors gleamed beneath my worn sneakers, and the furniture looked like it cost more than I made in a year. Everything was pristine, perfect, untouchable. My anxiety spiked immediately. "This is where you expect me to live?" I asked, voice slightly strangled. "I'm going to break something just by breathing. The furniture is replaceable." Ollie set my pathetic single duffel bag down. Literally all my possessions fit in one bag, which was depressing. "You're not. Come on. I'll show you your room." He led me down a hallway that was longer than my entire apartment, stopping at a door on the right. When he opened it, I nearly stopped breathing. The bedroom was massive. King-sized bed with a plush headboard, walk-in closet that was currently empty but probably bigger than my old kitchen, and an attached bathroom with both a shower and a jacuzzi tub. Soft gray walls, cream-colored bedding, and blackout curtains that actually worked. "This is mine?" I whispered. "All yours." Ollie leaned against the doorframe, watching my reaction. "Private bathroom, climate control, you can adjust however you want. And the mattress is supposed to be the best for pregnancy. Good support for your back as you get bigger." The fact that he'd thought about my back support made something warm bloom in my chest. "Where's your room?" "Right next door." He pointed to the door across the hall. "Close enough if you need anything, far enough to give you privacy." Privacy. The word felt foreign after living in a studio where I could touch all four walls from my bed. "I don't know what to say," I admitted, walking into the room and running my hand along the soft comforter. "This is a lot." "You don't have to say anything." Ollie's voice was gentle. "Just rest. You look exhausted." He was right. The adrenaline from earlier had worn off, leaving me hollow and shaky. But admitting weakness felt dangerous somehow, like giving him more control over me. "I'm fine." I lied. "Joseph." He said my name like a sigh. "You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to accept help. It doesn't make you weak." How did he keep reading me so easily? We barely knew each other, yet he seemed to see straight through every defense I'd carefully constructed. "I'll rest," I conceded. "But only because the baby needs it. Not because you told me to." His smile was knowing. "Whatever helps you sleep at night." After he left, I collapsed onto the bed, fully clothed, and promptly passed out. I woke hours later to darkness outside the windows and the smell of food drifting through the door. My stomach growled immediately. Apparently pregnancy had turned me into a bottomless pit. Following the scent, I found Ollie in the kitchen, an enormous chef's kitchen with marble countertops and professional-grade appliances. He stood at the stove, cooking something that smelled incredible, his suit jacket discarded and his sleeves rolled up to reveal strong forearms. "You cook?" I asked from the doorway. He glanced over his shoulder. "Sometimes. When I have someone worth cooking for." The implication made my heart skip. "I'm not worth special treatment." I disagree. He plated whatever he'd been making, some kind of pasta with vegetables, and brought it to the kitchen island where two places were already set. "Sit. Eat." The food was delicious. Way better than I expected from an alpha CEO or whatever he was. We ate in comfortable silence for a while before I finally asked what had been bothering me. "What do you actually do? For work, I mean." "Commercial real estate developments." He took a sip of water. "I buy properties, renovate them, sell them or lease them. Mostly high-end stuff. Hotels, luxury apartments, that sort of thing." "So you're rich." "I'm comfortable." His tone was carefully neutral. "Does that bother you?" "It makes me feel like a charity case," I admitted. "Like I'm just another project you're renovating." Ollie set down his fork, giving me his full attention. "You're not a project. You're the mother of my child. There's a difference." "Is there?" I pushed my food around my plate. "You're providing everything: food, shelter, medical care. What am I contributing exactly? Besides the incubator service?" "Don't talk about yourself like that." His voice turned sharp. "You're not an incubator. You're a person who's doing something incredibly difficult, growing a life while dealing with a pushy alpha who showed up out of nowhere and disrupted everything." The self-awareness surprised me. "At least you admit you're pushy." "I'm working on it." He ran a hand through his dark hair, messing it up in a way that was unfairly attractive. I'm not good at relationships. Never have been. I'm better at business deals and negotiations, but I'm trying to learn how to do this right. His honesty disarmed me completely. What if we can't figure it out? What if this whole arrangement falls apart? Then we'll deal with it. He reached across the island, his hand covering mine. But I'm not giving up without trying. Are you? I looked down at our hands, his large and tan, mine smaller and paler. Such a simple touch, yet it sent warmth spreading through my entire body. No, I said quietly. I'm not giving up. The next morning I woke to find Ollie had already left for work but had left a note on my nightstand along with a credit card and a new phone. Joseph. Doctor's appointment at 2 p.m. Address programmed in the phone. Car service will pick you up at 1:30. The card is for anything you need, clothes, food, whatever. No limit. Use it. I'll be home by 6 p.m. Text me if you need anything sooner. Oh. I stared at the credit card like it might explode. No limit? Was he insane? What kind of person just handed out unlimited credit cards to virtual strangers? But when I looked in my closet and realized all my clothes were either stained or threadbare, I reluctantly pocketed the card. Maybe 1 or 2 new outfits wouldn't hurt. Just basics. Nothing expensive. The doctor's appointment was surreal. The clinic was in a private medical building downtown. All glass and steel and hushed elegance. Dr. Sarah Chen was a tiny Asian woman with kind eyes and zero judgment when she examined me. Your baby looks healthy, she said, pointing at the ultrasound screen where a much bigger bean shape was visible now. Strong heartbeat, good growth rate. Have you been experiencing any complications? Morning sickness, I admitted, and I'm tired all the time. Completely normal for your stage. She made notes on her tablet. I'm prescribing prenatal vitamins, better quality than what you'd get over the counter, and I want to see you every 2 weeks instead of monthly, given your circumstances. My circumstances? Omega pregnancy without pack support. Her expression was sympathetic. It's more stressful on your body, but Ollie mentioned he's providing a stable environment now, which should help significantly. The fact that Ollie had already talked to her about me, about us, made my chest tight. He really was taking this seriously. This wasn't just alpha posturing or temporary interest. He actually cared. When I got back to the penthouse, Ollie was already home, tie loosened and looking stressed. He brightened when he saw me. How was the appointment? Good. Baby's healthy. I held up the ultrasound photos she'd printed. Want to see? His expression transformed into something almost reverent as he took the photos, studying them like they held the secrets of the universe. Our baby, yeah. I swallowed hard. Our baby, and standing there in his expensive penthouse, watching this powerful alpha stare at ultrasound photos with wonder in his eyes. I started to believe that maybe, just maybe, we could actually make this crazy situation work. My phone rang in the middle of the night, shattering the peaceful silence of Ollie's penthouse. The caller ID made my blood run cold. Dad. I stared at the screen like it was a venomous snake. My parents had disowned me 2 years ago when they discovered I was an Omega. Their greatest shame, their ultimate embarrassment. So why were they calling now, after all this time? My hands trembled as I answered. Hello, Joseph. My father's voice was sharp as broken glass, cold as winter steel. We heard you've trapped some alpha, got yourself pregnant. My stomach dropped through the floor. How did they find out? It's not like that. Be quiet. My mother's voice cut through the background, equally venomous. You've already humiliated our family once. And now this? Unmarried, pregnant, chasing after some powerful alpha's money? I'm not chasing anyone's money. My voice cracked with emotion. And this isn't any of your business. Everything you do is our business as long as you carry our last name. My father's words were precise, calculated to wound. If you had any decency, any shame at all, you'd stay away from that alpha and quietly handle this situation. Situation? My voice shook with barely controlled rage. This is my child. It's a mistake that needs correcting. My mother interrupted with brutal efficiency. Unless you want everyone knowing what kind of Omega you are, the kind who can't control their heat and spreads their legs for random alphas. Shut up, I screamed, tears streaming down my face like rivers. You don't deserve to call yourselves my parents. I disconnected the call, my entire body shaking like I was having a seizure. Their words echoed in my skull like poison. Mistake, embarrassment, trap, shame. I slid down to the floor, hugging my knees, trying to breathe through the panic attack crushing my chest. That's when Ollie's scent hit me strong, comforting cedarwood wrapping around me like a safety blanket. Joseph. His voice was urgent, almost frantic. He burst through my bedroom door without knocking, and when he saw me crumpled on the floor, crying, something feral and protective flashed in his gray eyes. What happened? Who hurt you? And nobody. Don't lie to me. He dropped to his knees in front of me, large hands cupping my face with surprising gentleness. Tell me. Right now. My parents. I hiccuped through the tears. They called. They said this is all a mistake. That I'm trapping you. Ollie's expression turned dark and dangerous, like storm clouds gathering before a hurricane. Your parents said that to you? I nodded, unable to form words anymore. Give me their phone number. His voice dropped to something low and controlled, but I could hear the barely restrained fury simmering beneath the surface. No, Ollie. Joseph. He tilted my face up, forcing me to meet his blazing gray eyes. Anyone, and I mean anyone who hurts you will have to deal with me. Your parents or otherwise. Understand? His protectiveness was overwhelming, intoxicating, terrifying all at once. I don't want to cause more problems for you. You're not a problem. He kissed my forehead, lingering there with such warmth it made my chest ache. You're my priority. And what your parents said, that's complete garbage. You're not a mistake. This pregnancy isn't a mistake. And you're definitely not trapping me. But, if anything, he wiped my tears away with his thumbs. So gentle despite his size. I'm the one trapping you. And I'm not apologizing for it. Despite everything, the tears, the pain, the fear, a small laugh escaped my lips. You're insane. For you, absolutely. He lifted me easily, cradling me against his chest like I weighed nothing. Now you're going to rest. The doctor said stress is bad for the baby. I'm fine. Joseph. He laid me carefully on the bed, then surprised me by lying down beside me, not touching, but close enough that I could feel his warmth radiating across the space between us. Just for tonight, let me stay here with you. Please. That single word, please, shattered my resolve completely. Okay. I whispered into the darkness. Ollie took my hand, threading our fingers together, and surprisingly, I felt safe. Protected. Like nothing in the world could hurt me as long as he was here. Your parents are wrong, he murmured into the darkness. You're perfect, Joseph. And this baby, our baby, is going to be perfect too. I'll make sure of it. My chest tightened with emotion. Do you really want this baby? Yes. His voice was firm. Absolutely certain. No hesitation whatsoever. I want this baby. I want you. And I'm going to show the world that you're mine. And in that moment, wrapped in his scent and warmth, I almost believed that maybe, just maybe, this could actually work. But morning brought a harsh reality check. When I walked into the kitchen, Ollie was on his phone, his voice cold and commanding in a way I'd never heard before. I don't care what it takes. Find out everything about Joseph's family, every secret, every weakness they have, and then destroy them. My heart stopped beating. This wasn't the protective alpha who held me last night. This was someone else entirely. Someone ruthless, dangerous, someone who solved problems by crushing them under his heel. Ollie. My voice came out barely above a whisper, but it cut through his conversation like a knife. What are you doing? He disconnected the call and turned to face me, his expression unreadable, but I could see the mask slipping, could see that cold calculation in his eyes that sent chills down my spine. You weren't supposed to hear that, but I did. I walked fully into the kitchen, hands clenched into fists at my sides. You were talking about destroying my family. Why? Because they hurt you. His voice was flat, matter-of-fact, like he was discussing the weather instead of ruining people's lives. And I don't allow anyone to hurt what's mine. That's not your decision to make. The anger bubbled up from somewhere deep inside me. They're my family. Family that disowned you, that called you a mistake. Ollie's voice rose, a rare show of emotion cracking through his control. They're not your family, Joseph. They're toxic people who don't deserve you. But it's still my choice. I screamed, and my voice echoed off the expensive kitchen tiles. I don't want you taking revenge on my behalf. I don't want you destroying them. Do you understand? Ollie's jaw tightened dangerously. I'm only trying to protect you. No! I cut him off sharply. You're trying to control me, making my decisions for me, managing my life like I'm your property. Silence stretched between us, heavy and suffocating, filling every corner of the massive penthouse. This isn't control. Ollie finally spoke, taking a step closer. This is care. Care? I laughed bitterly, the sound harsh and broken. Care isn't going behind my back and making decisions about my life. Care is respecting my choices, letting me handle my own problems, not treating me like I'm too weak to stand up for myself. What do you think will happen when your parents approach you again? He cut me off, voice rising to match mine. When they guilt you, manipulate you, hurt you worse than before, you think I'll just stand there and watch it happen, so you'll decide for me instead? I challenged him, holding my ground. You'll decide how I deal with my family? If I have to, yes. His gray eyes blazed with intensity. Because you obviously can't take care of yourself. That sentence hit me like a physical blow, like he'd slapped me across the face. Get out, I said quietly. What? I said get out. My voice cracked with emotion. This is my room and I don't want you in it. Ollie's expression flashed with pain before he immediately masked it. Joseph, now, please. He stood there for a long moment, like he wanted to argue, but then he nodded and turned away. The sound of the door closing behind him was final, absolute, like a chapter ending. I collapsed onto the bed, tears flowing freely again. This was exactly what I'd been afraid of. A possessive alpha who wanted to control every aspect of my life, who made decisions without consulting me. But the worst part of me understood why he was doing it. His protective instincts, his need to keep me safe. It was genuine, but it was still wrong. I was not his property. I would not be controlled, even if it meant losing him. Several hours passed in miserable silence before I heard a soft knock on my door. Joseph? Ollie's voice was muffled through the wood. Please let me explain. I don't need explanations. I called back, voice hoarse from crying. But I need to give them. A pause. Can I come in? Please? Against my better judgment, I whispered. The door's unlocked. Ollie entered slowly. And for the first time since I'd met him, he looked disheveled. Hair messy like he'd been running his fingers through it repeatedly, shirt wrinkled, and his eyes held something I'd never seen before. Vulnerability. He sat on the edge of my bed, maintaining careful distance. You were right, he said quietly, and the admission clearly cost him something. I was trying to control you, and I'm sorry. I hadn't expected that. What? I'm not good at this. He stared down at his hands. Relationships, compromise, sharing control. My whole life, whenever I wanted something, I just took it. By force. By power. That's what I was taught. My anger slowly began to thaw, replaced by curiosity. By your family? My father was a ruthless businessman. His voice turned bitter, laced with old pain. He taught me that showing weakness meant losing. That emotions should be buried deep. That people were disposable as long as they served a purpose. He paused, and I absorbed all of it. I thought that was what strength looked like. Then why me? I asked softly. Because you're different. He finally looked at me, and the raw honesty in his eyes took my breath away. When I first saw you at that gala, your scent, your presence, something shifted inside me, like my alpha instincts finally woke up after being dormant my whole life. And after that night, I couldn't forget you. My heart was pounding against my ribs, but I didn't know how to. He struggled with the words. How to properly care for someone. How to respect you while also protecting you. So I defaulted to what I know: control. He sighed heavily. And you called me out on it. Rightfully so. Ollie, I won't destroy your family, he said firmly. If you don't want me to, I won't. But, he hesitated. If they try to hurt you again, I will warn them. Politely. Legally. With your approval first. That was a compromise. An actual, real compromise. Okay, I said slowly. That's fair. And I promise, Ollie continued, that I'll respect your choices. consult you before making decisions, let you control your own life. Really? Really? He carefully took my hand. Because you're not just my responsibility, Joseph. You're someone I want in my life. Permanently. Tears filled my eyes again. But these were different. Hopeful. I want you in my life too, I admitted. But on equal terms. As partners. Not as someone you own. Partners. He tested the word like it was foreign to him. Then, slowly, a genuine smile curved his lips. I can try that. When he carefully pulled me into a hug, respectful, warm, protective but not possessive. I felt like maybe, just maybe, we could make this work. We sat there holding each other, and for the first time I felt truly safe. Not trapped. Safe. Then the doorbell rang, sharp and insistent. Ollie's body immediately tensed, his protective instincts kicking in instantly. I'll get it. He headed for the door, and I followed out of curiosity. When he opened it, an elegant woman stood there, sharp designer suit, perfectly styled blonde hair and eyes that were cold and calculating. Hello, Ollie. Her smile was predatory, dangerous. Surprise. Ollie's entire body went rigid, his jaw clenching tight. Sienna, what are you doing here? Visiting you, obviously. Sienna's gaze shifted to me, and her expression twisted with disgust like I'd personally offended her. And who is this? My stomach dropped because suddenly I understood. This was his ex. And she was definitely not happy. Sienna looked me up and down like I was an insect. She wanted to squash. Seriously, Ollie? This is your new toy? Watch yourself, Sienna. Ollie's voice dropped dangerously low. Alpha command thick in his tone. He's my mate. Mate. He'd called me his mate publicly. My heart did a strange flip, part fear, part something else entirely. But Sienna just laughed, sharp and mocking. Mate? The scrawny Omega? You must be joking. You need to leave. Ollie held the door, clearly dismissing her. Right now. I'm not going anywhere until we talk. Sienna tried to force her way in, but Ollie blocked her path. We have unfinished business. Our families have already made engagement arrangements. Those arrangements were cancelled. Ollie said firmly, 2 years ago, when you cheated. Ouch. This was getting awkward fast. I shifted uncomfortably, suddenly feeling completely out of place. That was one mistake. Sienna's voice pitched higher. And you should have forgiven me. Alphas and Omegas cheat all the time, it's normal in our world. Not for me. Ollie cut her off. And especially not now that I have Joseph. So please leave. Peacefully. Sienna's gaze snapped back to me, and this time there was pure venom in her eyes. You seduced him, didn't you? Trapped him by getting pregnant. That's enough. My voice came out unexpectedly strong, surprising even myself. You have no right to judge me. You're not even invited here. Oh, the Omega found his voice. Sienna said sarcastically. How adorable. But you seriously think Ollie will settle for someone like you? When he could have someone like me, high society, proper breeding, actually useful connections. Yes, Ollie said flatly, stepping protectively in front of me. I think exactly that. 'Cause Joseph is better than you in every single way. Sienna's face flushed red with humiliation. How dare you? I dare you to leave. Ollie's patience was clearly exhausted. If you don't go peacefully, I'll call security. And trust me, Sienna, you don't want me to do that. Rage and humiliation flashed across Sienna's features. This is a mistake, Ollie. You'll regret this. That Omega will ruin you. My only regret is wasting so much time with you. Ollie opened the door wider. Goodbye, Sienna. Permanently. She threw one final murderous glare my direction before storming off, her heels clicking sharply against the marble floor, each step a threat. When the door closed, heavy silence settled over us. I hugged myself, Sienna's words echoing in my head. Scrawny Omega, trapped him, ruin you. I'm sorry, Ollie said immediately, turning to me with genuine regret. I didn't know she would come here. It's okay, but my voice was shaking. But she was right. I'm not on your level. Your ex was elegant, sophisticated, high society. You're perfect. Ollie kissed me sudden, fierce, possessive, claiming, you're perfect for me, Joseph, and I don't want anyone else. His kiss stole my protest, my doubts, everything. It was desperate, claiming, like he was proving that I actually belonged to him, that Sienna's words didn't matter. When we finally pulled back, both breathless, he pressed his forehead against mine. Sienna is my past. You're my future. Future? My voice came out small, uncertain. Yes. He took my hand and placed it over his racing heart. You and our baby, that's everything I want. I don't need legacy or business empire or high society approval if it means losing you. Tears blurred my vision. Ollie, I'm serious, Joseph. His gray eyes looked straight into my soul. I already told my family about you. Officially, and if they don't accept it, I'll walk away from them. You can't abandon your family. I can't abandon you. He held my face firmly. You're my priority. Always. And in that moment, Sienna's venomous words faded away. Because Ollie had chosen me, clearly, publicly, completely. I don't want to lose you either, I admitted, voice barely above a whisper. Even though this is scary, even though I'm not ready, I want to be with you. Then stay. He carefully hugged me, mindful of my stomach. Stay with me, Joseph. Officially, permanently. Be my mating. That was permanent. Irreversible. Life-changing. Yes, I whispered against his chest. I want to be your mate. Ollie lifted me effortlessly, carrying me toward his bedroom. Our bedroom from now on. He laid me gently on the bed, then sat beside me, his hand trembling slightly as he reached for mine. Are you absolutely sure? Once we mate, there's no going back. I'm sure. I squeezed his fingers. I've never been more sure of anything. His gray eyes searched mine for a long moment, looking for any hint of doubt or hesitation. Finding none, he leaned down and kissed me again. Softer this time, tender instead of desperate. I need to tell you something first, he murmured against my lips. Before we do this. My stomach clenched nervously. What? I love you, Joseph. The words came out raw, vulnerable, honest. I know it's fast. I know it's crazy, but I love you. Not just because of the baby, because your strength, your stubbornness, the way you challenge me. I love all of it. My breath caught in my throat. This was the first time he'd said those actual words, not just implied them through actions, but said them out loud. I struggled to get the words out. I love you too. His smile was blinding, transforming his usually stern face into something beautiful. Say it again. I love you, I repeated, stronger this time. I love you, Ollie Graves. He kissed me again, deeper now, his hands gentle as they explored my body with reverence instead of urgency. Every touch felt like worship, like I was something precious instead of just convenient. When his lips moved to my neck, finding that sensitive spot where he'd mark me, I tensed instinctively. Relax, he whispered against my skin. I'll make it good for you. I promise. And he did. The mating bite, when it came, was a sharp sting followed by overwhelming pleasure that rolled through my entire body like electricity. I gasped, clutching at his shoulders as the bond snapped into place between us. A golden thread connecting our souls, our hearts, our very beings. I could feel him now. Really feel him. His love, his protectiveness, his absolute certainty that I was his and he was mine. It was overwhelming and perfect and terrifying all at once. Mine, he growled against my neck, licking over the fresh mark. You're mine now, Joseph. Forever. Yours, I agreed breathlessly. And you're mine too. Don't forget that part. He laughed, the sound rich and warm. Never. I'm completely, utterly yours. We stayed tangled together for a long time afterward, neither of us wanting to break the spell of this moment. Through the bond I could feel his contentment, his satisfaction, his pure joy at having me here with him. What happens now? I finally asked. With your family, I mean, and mine. Now we deal with them together. Ollie's fingers traced lazy patterns on my skin. As partners, as mates. Whatever comes, we face it side by side. Even if they try to tear us apart, especially then. He tilted my chin up to look at him. Nobody separates bonded mates, Joseph. Not my family, not yours, not society. The bond is sacred, unbreakable. That thought should have been comforting, but it also felt like a weight settling on my chest. What if I mess this up? What if I'm not good enough at being your mate? Impossible. He kissed my forehead. You're already perfect at it. You challenge me when I'm wrong. support me when I'm right, and you're carrying our baby. What more could I possibly want? Someone from your world, I said quietly. Someone like Sienna, who knows how to navigate high society and business dinners and all that stuff I don't understand. I don't want someone from my world. Ollie's voice was firm. I want someone who sees me as just Ollie, not Ollie Graves, the billionaire developer. Someone who'll call me out when I'm being a controlling jerk. Someone real. I'm real, I agreed softly. Exactly. He pulled me closer, and that's worth more than all the social connections in the world. Over the next few days, we settled into a new rhythm. Ollie worked from home more often, wanting to be nearby during my second trimester. We had breakfast together every morning, dinner together every night. He started teaching me about his business, not because he expected me to work, but because he wanted to share that part of his life with me. I started wearing his bite mark proudly, no longer hiding under high collars. Let people stare. Let them judge. I was mated to Ollie Graves, and I wasn't ashamed of it. But reality came crashing back when his mother showed up unannounced 2 weeks later. She was exactly what I'd expected. Impeccably dressed, cold eyes, perfect posture. Everything about her screamed old money and high society. "So you're the Omega who trapped my son," she said without preamble, looking me up and down with obvious disdain. "Mother." Ollie's voice was sharp with warning. "That's my mate you're insulting." "Your mate." She said it like a curse word. "You mated a nobody. Someone with no connections. No family worth mentioning. No value to our legacy." "He has value to me," Ollie said coldly. "That's all that matters. It matters to the business. The business can burn for all I care." Ollie stepped between us protectively. "Joseph is my priority. If you can't respect that, you can leave." His mother's eyes widened in shock. "You would choose this Omega over your own family?" Without hesitation, Ollie confirmed. Every single time, something shifted in her expression then. Not acceptance exactly, but perhaps understanding. "You really love him." "I really do." Ollie's hand found mine, squeezing gently. "And nothing you say will change that." His mother studied us for a long moment, then sighed. "Fine. If you're determined to throw away everything for him, I suppose I have no choice but to accept it." It wasn't warm. It wasn't welcoming. But it was something. "Thank you," I said quietly, surprising both of them. She looked at me sharply. "Don't thank me yet. You'll have to prove yourself worthy of my son." "I will," I promised, every single day. After she left, Ollie pulled me into his arms. "You didn't have to thank her. She was horrible to you. She's your mother." I shrugged. "And she's trying in her own terrible way. That's more than my parents ever did." "Your parents are idiots." Ollie kissed the top of my head. "Their loss is my gain." "Cheesy?" I accused. But I was smiling. "True though." He rested his hand on my stomach, which was just starting to show a small bump. "We're a family now, Joseph. You, me, and this baby. Nothing else matters." And as I stood there in his arms, feeling our baby flutter between us and our bond humming with love and contentment, I finally believed it. We were a family, imperfect, unconventional, born from an accidental text message, but and that was more than enough. 3 months later, when I went into labor, Ollie didn't leave my side for a single second. He held my hand through every contraction, whispered encouragement through every push, and cried when our daughter was finally placed in his arms. "She's perfect," he whispered, tears streaming down his face. "Just like you." "We made her," I said tiredly, reaching out to touch her tiny hand. Together, he agreed, leaning down to kiss me. "Always together." Our daughter opened her eyes then gray like her father's, and I knew without a doubt that everything had worked out exactly as it was supposed to. That accidental text message had changed my entire life, and I wouldn't change a single thing about it.